Levi,
Yes, bro.
thank you for coming back. Again, we're on chapter 4, so no snitching versus exposed or works of darkness. And I think this is probably, again, I've probably said it before, maybe with the first one that we did, but it's a big one. This is a big one. Obviously, no snitching. And I'll get into it, kind of some of the motivations for why I said this is a myth that I want to include and almost and also dismantle in the book. But I guess before I do that, it'd be good just to hear from you, like what did that myth look like in your life? I guess
Very
when you're on the road.
very easy to to understand, and that is you just don't say nothing.
Yeah,
You just don't say nothing at all.
yeah,
What are you talking about? It's
Yeah.
as simple as that. So yeah, it's very simple lifestyle to live by in that sense there, but it comes with a lot of problems,
yeah,
a lot of injustice at the same time.
yeah.
Which again, I'm so glad you've actually brought that up in your book, because Christ releases us from such things that just you share all in that kind of way there.
Yeah.
But for yourself,
Yeah.
what's it look like?
Yeah, no, I think for me, similar to what you said, very much, you never wanted to be called a snitch.
Oh God, no.
Obviously, the key thing, if someone tries it with you, you fight back. You want to be making money. You wanted the girls to like you. But even if you failed at all three,
Yeah.
don't be found don't be found to be a snitch.
you're finished.
And so that was very much, I mean, one of the key mottos. It won't say, but it was deeply felt and believed within. You'd hear people say things, again, even down to music, but just even in the area, very much, I don't like a snitch, X, Y, and Z. And so I think in coming to Christ, where I guess gradually that started to be broken, I had to look back and think, what was it? And I've obviously brought some of that into the book, but what was it that held me bound to that myth? And I found that it was really two things, fear and pride. And I'll probably start with pride because, again, like I said, it was very much this honor thing, this honor, this certificate, this badge of honor that I had. Like, no, you can't call me a snitch. I've never said anything. I've never ratted on the man them, regardless of what happened. And to be honest, when I look back, actually, I was never in a situation where I had to snitch, which I thank God for, nevertheless. But then I think probably the other element was fear. And that's fear of what would happen if you were found to be a snitch. And I think that's what clearly a lot of people go through and are thinking about. And so they're like, do you know what? I ain't going to say nothing because, again, people to the point, people obviously get hurt. You'll have friends betray you, do you understand? Because they don't want to be associated with you. You'd have, again, to the extent of people even dying as a result of that. So, and again, there's many stories of that happening, even local to where I grew up. And so I never wanted to be put in that light. But I think gradually, as I started to realize the truth, I realized, again, to that point of injustice, but even before I got there, is that I had to be afraid of someone greater.
Okay.
That was the key. I had to be afraid of someone greater. And so I'm always reminded of this passage, I've included it in the book, where Jesus says, don't fear the one who can just kill your body, but actually fear the one who can destroy your body or kill your body and also destroy your soul in hell. And it's like, like when you can hear things like that, but when you take it in, you kind of realize actually, there's more to life than just this life that I'm living. Like there is a day of judgment. There is such a thing as heaven and hell. And on that day, being almost free from snitching or being no snitch, as it were, isn't going to hold any weight. And I think as I started to deep that and take it in, it started to just change my mindset around it. And again, as well as I do, there are guys that I know, Christian, they've come off the road, but even that is still a difficult thing to let go of. But I see you smiling, bro, so go on.
No, I was just going to say, because, I think Paul says, by the renewing of your mind. And so I like the ing on that, is that it's a continual thing. And so I think the old man has a way of rising up sometimes. I've been in the car with a friend or two and we've been in a traffic jam or whatnot and road rage has crept out. And I was like, bro, aren't you preaching tomorrow? It's like, yeah, bro, I'm so sorry, man. But, just the old, so we're always, again, on that journey of maturing in the new man that we are, or in the new men that we are, in that sense there. But not even to become a Christian, it doesn't mean to say the things just drop off or they just fall away, and you know, feelings, emotions aren't there anymore on those things there. No, they're still there. They're still very real, actually. But there's prayer for a start helps. And with the no snitching, it's different now, because now you have a brother now. So even though you got your man them, you got your boys and all the rest of it, I noted when I became a Christian that I could share so much more with my brothers than I ever could with the man them there. Do you know what I mean? Which I thought was weird, because I thought we were tight like that. But not really. But the brothers I've got, as I said, I've been very fortunate that in coming to Christ, I've got so many in my life that I can share, talk to, and they can talk to me and stuff. So
love that.
Yeah, and there's no the element of snitching or talking too much or sharing information. It's not there now. Do you know what I mean? That in itself has been released,
taken away.
Yeah, definitely.
No, it's big, and I think it's so key even when it comes to the area of, I guess, injustice. And I remember I think I was still writing the book and maybe even writing this chapter, but it was 2020, obviously COVID, and I guess that whole Black Lives Matter movement, George Floyd and everything that was going on there. And I remember, again, this revelation and I guess the truth in terms of exposing the works of darkness really, I guess, gripping me, because I guess in that scenario you had, I guess, the community, people saying, look, like, why the police, or actually people just having a lot of outrage in terms of police brutality. And almost saying, I guess to some extent, things are happening in our areas, in our communities, and the police are not saying anything about it. The police are keeping it hush. They're not snitching on one another. And so justice is not being served. And then at the same time, I started to kind of reflect and think, wow, that's exactly the same thing that's happening on the roads, on the streets where we grow up, because you might have someone that gets stabbed, someone that gets shot, and the hood knows. The man them know who did it. Or at least there's a word going around. Again, you might not have seen it, so you're not a witness, as it were, but people know who did it. They know what went on. You see the news, it's saying, oh yeah, actually, it's unsolved, but everyone knows who did it. And I remember just thinking, and almost God showing me that, look, that's one and the same. It's one and the same. It's just one side crying out for justice and another side crying out for justice. And really and truly, the issue is we're not snitching. We're not, as it were, exposing the works of darkness, exposing what's going on. And in not doing so, it leaves blood that is shed. It doesn't allow for people to heal. It doesn't allow for, again, conflicts to be resolved. And it just allows people to perpetrate that evil, thinking, actually, no one's going to say anything anyway, so I can keep doing what I want to do. So it, I remember it dawning on me, and it hit me hard, and I thought, you know what, nah, I need to make sure this is included in the book, and that we can, I guess, start that journey of allowing Christ, the work that he's doing in you, obviously, and also in me, to really play out, I guess, into our culture, where we're actually recognizing, no, we need to fear God rather than the man them. And actually, when we allow justice to roll out, when we allow people to actually speak on what is going on, it will lead to a more healthy, godly, and really a healed society. But yeah, what's your thoughts on that?
No, bro, honestly, I can't add to or take away, because I think that when it comes to violence in the area, everybody knows, or at least somebody knows. And when no one says anything, it just goes by and more happens, or there's retaliation, and then we have another stabbing or something like that. You know, so I think it's not about necessarily no snitching and get it out of the way or whatever, or everybody can now just say what they want. But I just think the bringing in Christ and people accepting the Lord in that way to mature, to come out. And the thing is coming to the Lord and maturing, you look back at those things and you think it's such a sad to have wasted all that time in that world of, you know, we're carrying a weapon or whatever. It's so sad to think that I could have been doing this, I could have been doing that. And then when I worked in a sixth form college for a little while, And you could tell from a mile away who was there, who was doing what and stuff like that. And some of the kids you could just look at and you just knew they were not built for that lifestyle at all. Which nobody should be built for that lifestyle in the first place. But they saw so many going into that lifestyle because of the world around them. And in my mind, I thought it's just a shame because you are destined for something more, but you're taking yourself down a path you're not going to be able to come out from. And that did happen on a number of occasions, and especially on the No Snitching, whereby they saw something, someone got stabbed at the college, whatnot. There's a group of guys, but now it's collective punishment because no one's saying anything. Now they're all being expelled.
That's right.
Now 6 of the boys can't go to uni now. So now what they're doing? Now they're just around the ends. Do you know what I mean? The fact is that if they'd have just had a different mindset, the culture would have been different, as opposed to hating your brother, actually jamming with him, chilling with him, whatever. You might even get on with him. Do you know what I mean? You might like the same things. You might even want the same future. Do you know what I mean? There could be a great friendship there as opposed to an enemy. It's growing up and maturing, you look at those things there and you think there's a lot of missed opportunities.
That's right.
And so I hope what you've done with your book and whatnot can help inner someone to be motivated to say, you know what I'm doing now, it's just, there's no longevity in it.
That's right.
No longevity in it at all. Especially if you want a family, you want real friendship, you want to set some goals and some dreams and go out there and go after it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No, that's really good. And I really appreciate that point, especially on the, I guess, missed opportunities. Because I think when I, again, was reflecting on it, that's probably one of the key things that really happens, apart from obviously the people who suffer as a result of the injustice and it not being, injustice not being served. It is those who, again, are on road and are holding on to that badge that, look, I've not snitched, but again, they may be languishing behind bars. And again, it's not that Jesus can't meet them there. Again, I'm hearing so many stories of people meeting Jesus behind bars, as it were, in jail. But nevertheless, to your point, those missed opportunities, whether it was starting a family, whether it was going to uni, whether it was flying here or there, but actually because of whether it was criminal record, whatever it was. But when you root it back, it's because I just didn't say anything, and I wanted to kind of be the man. Do you know what I mean? And allow the man them to still love me. And then the sad thing is that you've missed opportunities, and then the man them don't care 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the line because they've also moved on, like you said, about growing up. And so it hurts, but my prayer, even as you've said there, is that, the book to some extent, but actually, Christ brings about that change in people's lives. So no, appreciate you, chopping up with me, bro.
Anytime.